Hi people, welcome to the Cowbridge kitchen. We're here exclusively to show you guys how to cook like a pro. Okay, going to show you some tips, going to show you some tricks and a few little nifty workarounds so that you get it right first time, every time. Vegetable spring rolls. Dead simple to make, mini spring rolls. A great source of veg for your kids. Good fun as well, and they're dead simple to make, okay? My boy loves them. Half the stuff that's in there he doesn't even like. Go figure. Okay, so what do we need to make these spring rolls? Some veg. We're going to use one red onion. We are going to use about a bag of bean sprouts. So we're going to use them. We're going to use some spring onion. Some carrots. Yeah, in the bag. Some carrots. I have a red pepper here. We're going to use a red pepper as well, okay? And some coriander. That's pretty much what's going to go into the mix for the spring rolls. So I'm going to show you how to get those chopped up quickly, and then we shall move on to doing the stir-fry mix ready for them. Okay, so with your carrots, it's up to you how you want to tackle this. You can buy these ready prepped if you want, but I'm going to prep them with a knife. So basically what we want to do first, we just get the carrot peeled. Pretty straightforward stuff. Almost straightforward stuff. Okay, one peeled carrot. Trim it, both ends, and then cut it to length, okay, the lengths that we want. If we can't, we may not get it to the exact lengths. So there we are. We've got two good lengths there and a small bit. Okay, the way I'm going to do this now is I am going to basically shave this carrot down the edge with a knife. Okay, you've got to be really careful with it. You're not going to get it right every single time. A couple of them are going to go wrong. But basically what we're doing here is shaving that carrot, okay? Be careful that you don't shave a bit of your finger into it as well, right? You may not get to all the end of it, okay? But don't worry too much about that. So we've got some nice shaved pieces of carrot there. And what we're going to do now is, I suppose it's more than julienne them really. I'm going to really make these thin so they are at sort of a stir-fry level. So I'll show you how I'm going to do these. Nice and close now. We've got the carrot there, fingers on the carrot, and then you are just going to slice that up like so. So you've got nice thin pieces of carrot, okay? We're going to get them into our bowl, and we're going to do each one of these the same way. If you can't do this, okay, or you're going to have trouble doing this, put them in a food processor if you want, and then just throw them through and get them sliced that way. So we'll just get the rest of these done, and then we'll move on to the pepper. So, as you can see, we have now, in super fast time, managed to chop all of our vegetables. Okay, we have our bean sprouts, our red onions, red peppers, our very finely julienned carrots, our spring onions, and our coriander ready for flavouring. Okay, so let's move on over to the stove, and I'll show you how to get this stir fry going. So over at the stove, we are now going to make our stir fry to filling for the spring rolls. Basically, we're going to use some rapeseed oil, okay, to cook them in, and we're going to use some Chinese 5 spice. All right, that's what we're going to sprinkle into there as well. It gives it a lovely flavour. So what we're going to do first is get the heat onto this pan. There we are, nice and hot. Okay, you want this flame nice and high. So rapeseed oil then into here. Fair amount. Okay, we don't want these to be dry. We want these to be nice and moist. There we are, we shall let that get nice and hot. So our oil is now nice and hot, and we're going to start frying off our veggies. Okay, first thing we're going to throw in there, we are going to throw in the peppers, and these they should start cooking straight away. Ow, there we are. Pop the heat down a little tiny bit on that, okay? Peppers are in. We get some carrots in. We've got quite a lot of carrots, so we're not going to use probably all of them. We'll use about half of them. We'll get our carrots in, cooking as well. Lovely, lovely. Bean sprouts, so the bean sprouts in on top. As you've probably gathered, it's just simply a case of getting it all in there now. Give them a nice little mix in. We'll throw in our red onions. And our spring onions. We have got a pretty big old stir fry mix going on there now. Okay, so we're just going to get all of that mixing in, and it's smelling beautiful already. What we're going to do now with our 5 spice, okay, just, I mean, you know, use your imagination however much you want. Get it all sprinkled in, all over the top of those veggies. You know, a fair little bit of that. Mix that in now, and we are just going to let that cook. And what we're going to do with this now is I'm going to cover this with a plate, so that we can keep all of the flavour and all of the juice in there. You get yourself a plate. There we are. Plate on top. Somewhere to put my spoon. Leave that cook now on a medium to low heat, so it's just sizzling away 5 minutes. So while our veggies are cooking away now and they're smelling pretty delicious, we're going to chop some coriander up and ready to go into the spring rolls. So with our coriander, again, you don't need to be too fussy with this. Just get a nice big chunk of that pulled off onto the chopping board there. We use a butcher's knife to chop this. Dead simple. Get it into a pile. Once that's done, you just keep going around and around like so. Chopping everything, okay, stems and all. A nice big bunch of roughly chopped coriander. Okay, so our veggies have now been cooking for about 5 minutes or so, so it's time to take that lid off. Remember, that's hot, so use a tea towel to lift that off with another glove. Yeah, look at those. Now those are smelling delicious. Looking pretty delicious. So there's our filling now for our spring rolls. What we're going to do is get this into a plate. I'm going to let this cool down, okay, because obviously it's not going to go into this temperature. So look at that, it's beautiful and it smells delicious. There we are. So our spring roll filling is done, and we're going to leave that now to cool down. Yeah, for a while. You can even throw it in the fridge if you like, but we need to get that down to room temperature. While our stir-fried veg is cooling down to room temperature, what I'm going to show you is you need a bit of a glue to hold the spring rolls together once we've rolled them, okay? And also I'm going to show you how to cut the pastry out so that we've got the right size for the job. So basically for the glue, it's flour and water. I'm just going to put about 1.5 teaspoons of flour into a little pot, and then the amount of water you're going to need is going to be a bit of trial and error, because you want the glue, you don't want it too runny, so just put a little tiny bit of water in to start with and then mix that up. And basically what we want, if it goes too thick, it's a little tiny bit too thick, add a splash more water to that until you get it at the right consistency. There we are, once it's at the right consistency, so it's like a paste, okay? Doesn't need to be lump free. It's like a nice paste there. That's going to work as a glue now to glue basically our spring rolls together. So with the actual case for the spring rolls, we're going to use Filo pastry, okay? Again, I bought this stuff, so I'm not going to make it. Just easier to buy it, to be honest. It was £1, I think, or £1.25. So I bought the Filo pastry, okay? What we're going to do is we're going to cut this out into 6 by 6 inch squares. Okay, that's the size I'm going to do. What you want is you just want 1 sheet now of this Filo pastry. Okay, so once you've managed to separate it, get that off. Okay, put this onto a surface, fold it in half, and what I'm hoping to get is 2 out of there, or maybe no, I'll just get the 1. So I'll get 1 out of each sheet. Okay, so what we're going to do, there we are, I've used this bowl, okay, and this is a square plate. It's a 6 by 6 inch square plate. I'm going to use this as a template to cut the squares that we need, okay? You can use whatever you like. I mean, you can make them a bit smaller or bigger, but I just find that that is a pretty good size, okay? So what we're going to do, I'm going to pop our template onto the Filo pastry. There we are. Ourselves a knife, and you don't have to be exact, okay? But what we want to do is just cut around it so we get a square. Okay, this is going to, unfortunately, this is going to cause a bit of a waste here, because I could keep this bit, but it's not really the right shape, so that's going to be a bit of a waste. Okay, what we'll do, this stuff goes dry quite quickly, okay? So you can cut them all to size, provided that you keep them under some cling film. So there we are, we can cut them all to size and layer them on top of each other, okay? So there's just a little bit of a gap so you can differentiate where one ends and one begins. There we are. So we're going to cut out now. I cut out a few of them. I'll cut out 4 or 5 of them, and then we'll come back and we'll show you how to form your spring rolls. So as you can see, we have our coriander, which we've chopped up earlier, and we're going to use that. We're going to set that aside, and we've got our spring roll veg mix, which is now at room temperature, and it's lovely and moist. Okay. So what we're going to do, we're going to take one of our Filo pastry sheets, okay, and the important thing is, don't have this square on at you, have this so that it's like a diamond, so the diamond is facing you, okay? This is going to make the whole process a lot easier. Okay, what we need to do now, you know, use your imagination how much you want to put in, what you want to put in there. So we're going to fill these up, going to make these nice fat juicy spring rolls. Once that's folded like that, now what you need to do then is take your corner, fold it over the top of the veg there, and then pull it in a little bit, not too much to break it, okay? Roll it to about the halfway point. At the halfway point, fold your ends in. So we fold both ends in so they meet in the middle like so. At that stage now, we're going to take our paste just a little bit on the end of your finger, and then just paste that top corner, and then you continue to roll into a spring roll, and there we are. And that paste now will hold the end there together, and you've got yourself your first spring roll. Okay, we need a container now, so the same principle applies. These go dry very quick, so get a dish with some cling film on it. Put your spring rolls into the dish, cover with cling film, and move on to the next one. Okay, so the last one now to do. Okay, so like this, you may have noticed in the video earlier that I actually forgot to put my coriander in. Now I'd like to say I did that on purpose, but I didn't. I forgot. Schoolboy error. Schoolboy error. Anyway, I'll rectify that now. Okay, so what at that stage, once that's in, what we're going to do, just going to put a little sprinkling of coriander into that spring roll just before you roll it, okay? So there we are, that's sorted that little blooper out. Let's roll that now to there. 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 Glue, plenty of glue. Loads of glue on there, and then roll that. There we are, and just glue that bit, and job done. There we are. One spring roll then with coriander. Okay, so over at the stove, we've now got our spring rolls all wrapped in cling film. We've got a small pan here now with some oil on there, okay? So about 2/3 full, enough to cover the spring roll when we pop that in. This temperature needs to be at about 180 degrees centigrade, or I think that's about 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Between 350 and 375 Fahrenheit, okay? Otherwise your spring rolls just aren't going to work. And we've got a chopping board here with some blue kitchen roll on it. Okay, so what we're going to do, we are going to take a spoon, a serving spoon with some holes in it, okay, so that we can pick the spring rolls out of this hot fat. So one spring roll at a time, we're going to drop into the fat. Now as long as you've got enough glue on your spring rolls, you shouldn't have any issues with them falling apart, okay? So spring roll now, straight into the fat. Okay, and because it's so hot, this is going to cook pretty much straight away. Okay, there we are. So we'll leave that spring roll to cook, and we'll come and take a little look at it in a sec. There we are. Okay, this spring roll has been in there for about 2 minutes. That's all. 2 minutes this has taken. Okay, and this little monkey is cooked. Lovely. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to pop him onto the paper. There we are, and let that drain off. Okay, so there we are. One spring roll. We just do the rest of them now, all exactly the same. 2 minutes in the fat, out, drained. Okay, so I'll just show you the process now on a nice bit of a close-up. Okay, take your spring roll out, and this just goes foot first into the fat, and as it goes in, move your hand away, and that is cooking pretty much straight away. There we are. Take a little look at this. Cooking quite nicely. Stay together, okay. And we're just gonna. You can push with your spoon now. You can push this down into the fat to get it all nice and covered. Remember, get this vegetable oil now. It's got to be at a constant. It's got to be around about 350, okay. If you put them in when it's not at 350, or if it's too low, they're just going to fall apart and go mushy. And you don't want that to happen to these little monkeys because they are beautiful. Here we are. We'll finish this one off now for you to see. I mean, literally, obviously the fat now has got hotter. Okay, this is taking less and less time to cook. This one was, I don't know, a minute maybe. And as you can see, wow. Let me show you that. There we are. One spring roll. Dead simple. Okay, finish these off. And then we'll probably eat one. And there we are. There's our 6 little monkeys. Absolutely beautiful. I'm going to serve these up with some sweet chili mayo. So I'm going to make up a little bit of sweet chili mayo, and I'm going to get these on a plate and present them so you can really see just how great these are. And the kids are going to love them. Full of vegetables, all the fats, all the vegetable oils drained off them now, and they're just beautiful.